Alright, I've been wanting to check out this video, okay? So, this is a Jubilee video, okay? So, if you haven't seen my other Jubilee video, um, they copyright strike you. So, please, you could, if you don't like my commentary, uh, you might as well just go straight to the video itself. All I'm going to be showing, okay, is audio, okay? So, sadly, I'm only gonna be able to show audio because they will copyright strike you otherwise. So please understand that. I wanted to check this out. I'm very big on finance, right? I'm very big on finance, so I want to talk about the mindset of financing, the mindset of finance, the mindset of gaining wealth. I'm very big on it, so I wanted to check it out and you know um, listen to what they say. All right.
Today, I think we've all sat here and we've heard you talk about your jet and Maui and your three homes.
Law school and became a lawyer, but I'm also a serial entrepreneur.
My first question is, how much are you currently worth, and how did you amass that amount of money?
I'm a lawyer. I went to law school and became a lawyer, but I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I built and operate a chain of attractions across America. I have Marriott hotels across America. I build shopping centers. The big part of my wealth has been generated by my law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Well, I don't know exactly how much I'm worth. I used to tell my kids when they were little, when their friends would ask them, are we rich or not? I said, the answer is this: we're comfortable.
What do you mean comfortable? Like, you definitely have way more than just being comfortable. You live a luxury life.
Do you call being worth $1 billion comfortable?
Very. And but you don't feel like it because you don't spend it. When you grow up a certain way, it's not like it's changed much in my life. I'm in the same house. I don't spend the money that you would think I'd spend. It's odd because you have all this money in the bank, but it doesn't really change what you do day to day.
My question for you is, what stops you from using your wealth to change somebody's life?
Nothing. Listen, I live 3 places. I live in Florida. I live in Maui.
You know, this question changed someone's life. I've learned that human beings, we are, there are certain like natures, right? When it comes to human beings, one of the things is laziness. Who like you gotta think, right? Who wants to do shit? Who wants to work so hard? Who wants it? No one does, right? If you want to get from point A to point B, you want it to be the most easiest, quickest, most comfortable route ever. So yes, I think um laziness is a um understandable human trait. But this is the problem. Laziness produces weakness. So I would never, I hate the thing where use someone else's wealth to change your life. You're saying someone else's life. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't make you appreciate. It doesn't make you a better person. I just recently saw a TikTok. I recently TikTok of a woman giving for free a home to a homeless woman. Right. So that this homeless woman loved it. She was so happy. Great. She lived in the house for a few months and left. The owner comes back, comes check on that house months later. Okay, found out that the homeless woman barely lived in there that long. Comes back and check out the house. The house is trashed. Right? It's like it's almost like a hoarder went through it. Right? Piss on the floor, piss in the. It's like just trashed, and she doesn't even stay there anymore. You got it for free. You didn't appreciate it. You didn't value it. You didn't bother to take care of it. I think honestly, like I get it. It's a nice thought, but I would never understand people who want things for free or too easily. I mean, I do understand it, right? I do understand it. I just don't think it's a good thing. Okay, I don't think it's a good thing, right? For most people, um, it just breeds weakness. Right? It just breeds laziness. And laziness is understandable nature, but it's not a good nature.
Hawaii, and I live in New Hampshire. But I've taken my wealth and done certain things. Like in Florida, where I live, I ran a constitutional amendment twice to legalize medical marijuana. I lost the first time, but I won the second time with 72% of the vote. I believe that income inequality is the number one issue facing America today. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And every day the gulf is getting wider. So what did I do? I ran a constitutional amendment. I spent tens of millions of dollars to raise the minimum wage from $8 an hour to $15 an hour in Florida. That's a doubling of the minimum wage. So I take that money that I make and I've run those constitutional amendments and I've put money into food banks and coalition for the homeless, and it goes on and on. And I will tell you this, not to pat me on the back too much about it, because I don't really feel it. I don't really feel it. I was at lunch the other day and this woman walks up to me and says, John, I just want to thank you and your wife for the donation you made to iDignity. I didn't know what iDignity was. I said, how much do we give? She said, $500,000. It turns out that my wife had given the money. And by the way, if you want money, call my wife. And iDignity is a place for the poorest of the poor to get identification, because more and more in this country, you need to have an identification just to get food stamps. I believe when you make this kind of money, you have an obligation to give it back. You don't feel it. It doesn't hurt you. You know, you can look at me and know I'm not missing too many meals. So I don't feel like I'm doing anything special. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
So I'm going to try to rephrase it. What stops you from getting out that car at the moment where you and your son, you seen the homeless person? What stopped you from changing that person's life?
Well, I do get out of the car from sometimes. When I pull up to a stoplight and there's somebody out there begging for food, even if they look like they've been eating donuts for the last 10 years, I give them money because I'm not going to judge them. I look at them this way. They're out there on the street in the heat. I don't know what they're doing out there, but you know what? It's not my job to judge.
I feel like a lot of billionaires, they say the same thing. They say they do donate and they do give to people. You give to organizations and large conglomerates that take your money and they break it up and they throw it around. If you're not handing something down to help somebody who really needs.
How the fuck? This is the stupidity, okay? Let me say this. I literally just told you a story, right? It's 1-to-1, okay? Not giving through an organization. This is the stupidity, right? This is the absolute stupidity. And this is the mindset where you are weak. I think the one thing that separates people from wealthy and poor is mindset. Mindset, okay? I think 90%, it's mindset. Because here's the thing, okay? All these homeless people, right? I believe at least the majority of them, they weren't born homeless. They weren't born homeless. It actually just, their life led for them to being homeless. And a lot of times it's led through their own actions. It is idiotic to think that, okay, let me give this person $1 million. To think that, okay, you gave this person $1 million and now they will what? Create generational wealth. They will be I don't know, well off for the rest of their life. How many times have we all heard lottery winners, right? Millions to maybe even billions of dollars are rewarded through lottery. And yet so many times, so many cases, if not, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but if not, by what I've heard, it seems like 90% of the time, these millionaires to maybe even billionaires end up broke and poor. So now what happened to that money? This is the stupidity where you can't do things on the individual level because you don't know the person. And you can't expect the person to, oh, let me say this. If I give this person money, they're going to change their life. There was a reason why their life led to where it was. Okay? Not all the time, but a lot of times, there's a reason why this person became homeless. Usually, it's because of bad decisions. A lot of times, it's because of drugs.
Needs it. What does it matter?
You're in the law field, and that's how you've amassed your network and everything that you've earned. If you had to start over in a different industry, what would you be in order to become a billionaire again?
I don't even know how it happened in the first place. So it's like I keep waiting to wake up, and it was all a dream. I was like, how did this happen? Listen, here's my problem. I suck in math and I suck in science, so there's not many jobs left for me after that. But my gut tells me I want to go to Wall Street and make deals like that. But what I would probably do is stay in the attraction business that I'm in. I love that business because there's no fighting. And I did it as a hobby. I've always thought what I could have done with my attraction and amusement business if I'd had it full time instead of, it was more like collecting stamps than anything, to tell you the truth.
So you made some comments about liking capitalism and how much legislation you did for raising the minimum wage for $15 an hour here in Florida. Is there anyone at your law firm or your multiple businesses that you're paying less than $15 an hour now?
No. And I wasn't paying less then because I believe that a living wage is a civil right. I also believe that retaining employees with a living wage and bonuses, it's good for business. I believe by paying more to my employees, I keep them, attrition is lower, and believe it or not, although it sounds backwards, I believe by paying more, I make more because I keep people, and my people are really all I have.
So in your opinion, why aren't other billionaires doing the same thing that you're doing?
Well, I think some are and some aren't. A lot of people have to, like once I raised the minimum wage here in Florida, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Universal raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. I kind of took credit for that. At a certain point, when wages start to rise, businesses have to respond. Because if Universal's paying $15, then Disney's got to pay $15. Because who cares if you're running Small World or Harry Potter? You're looking for a job.
So you mentioned a little bit how you've put money into politics and things like that. And in the current political climate in the United States, our government's run by the billionaires, kind of for the billionaires. What do you think the moral role of a billionaire should be within the United States government?
By and large, the opposite of what it is. These fat cats got so much money, but they want the tax laws to benefit them. Like these hedge fund people don't even pay taxes. And so the billionaires are not satisfied with what they have. They want more and more and more and more. And what my worry is, this income inequality, at some point there's a breaking point.
I do want to preface this, right, before we really get a lot deeper, is that I have always felt, the corruption, okay? I always felt like, yes, the world isn't built, right? It wasn't built by men, it was built by wealthy men, right? Built by the powerful men. So I always like the distinction because the world wasn't built by men, or it was built on the backs of men, but it wasn't built by men, it was built by the powerful men. I always believed, yes, there's so much corruption. Your vote means nothing if you don't have money to back it up. I always believed that. But this is the thing. We live in a world where we have to live in reality. What can you, as the individual, do to change it? The likelihood is nothing, right? The likelihood this is a thing where, unless you will become the visionary, the I don't know, that one person who can change like the course of a country, that is rare. That is rare, insanely rare. Unless you will be like the Albert Einsteins, the Elon Musk, the I don't know, Mahatma Gandhi, whatever, right? People who literally can affect history, can affect possibly, right, the course of life, the course of a country. That is one in a billion, in my honest opinion. So what you do is like you make the system work for you. You make things work for you. We'll probably go into a little bit more about this, but I'll definitely talk about like what I believe about finances and money and stuff. Because, like I said, it's mindset, right? We don't have the mindset. We don't have the financial education, the mindset needed to persevere, to fight against the oppression, financial oppression that we are dealing with. So
At some point, you can become Cuba. And what I would say to these billionaires, you're going to make this gulf so big and so vast just because you don't think it could ever happen in America. Just remember January 6th. Just remember them storming the Capitol. Those were the barbarians at the gate, and they were mad as hell. And you know what they're mad about? They were mad because they think they're going to fall further and further behind. They weren't mad, and they thought Donald Trump was the one that could do it for them. But that's why they stormed the Capitol. And when I saw it,
I do want to say this, right? Most millionaires and billionaires are Democrats. Think about that. These people who are wealthy usually align with the left. usually align with Democrats. So you want to complain about how the government is, you know, corrupt. It's all about money. Well, guess what? The money is predominantly flowing through the left, right? The Democrat Party. So these people who wants to say all these things, right? Say all these liberal or whatever things, great. But you can't fight against, the millionaires and billionaires and then, be a millionaire and billionaire and support. It's just, this is the thing where you got to think more about it, right? It's like, why are these millionaire and billionaires thinking they're, fighting against taxes and all that stuff? But to be honest, you're the ones who benefit from it. You're the one who's actually lobbying or behind the scenes, maybe pushing it up.
I said that could be our future if we let the haves and the have-nots get so separated.
I think everybody knows that probably every single billionaire does evade taxes, and he did say that he wants billionaires to be taxed so high, but I can promise you he probably has found ways to evade taxes.
Back in around like 1940s, the tax rate was around like 90s, higher than 90%, right? Would you be somebody that would advocate to bring back such a high tax rate in order to redistribute the wealth?
I don't know about 90% because you got to have some motivation. Listen, I am a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. But I also believe we have to do the most for the most with least.
So when you mention capitalism, right? Capitalism is kind of inherently parasitical, right? You're going to always take more from the workers. You're going to put a profit on their labor that they're putting into the business. And I think now we're seeing that capitalism inherently causes these income inequalities. So I think we need to expand those social safety nets. We need to increase taxes on the wealthy in order to allow the poor to enjoy, the things that maybe you enjoyed when you were younger and things like that.
Well, look, I agree with you. And I think it's really for these people who are so rich, they're going to.
I don't really agree with you. The poor to enjoy. Okay, let's say this. What if nobody desires to be a millionaire? No one desires, and if no one desires to make money, right? No real desire to make money. Where do you think corporations like Apple, like I don't know, Sony, like Disney, all these corporations, why would they even create it? What would be what would be the other purpose to create these corporations, besides money? What is the purpose for companies, big business to even do uh, you know, construction work or how home building if not the desire to make money? The government is not taking it up, right? The government is not building homes for you. The government is not doing that. It is corporations, it's business making homes for you. So if we say we magically a world where no capitalism, you're not gonna your money is capped. You're not gonna make more than this, right? Then what's the point? Right? What's the point of anyone wanting to do better, achieve better? There's really not. I mean, you could just do an ordinary job, don't care about anything, just make enough or whatever. Because you don't think about, I'm just making enough for a bill and that's it, right? Because I don't need to care about what's the point of doing it, going above and beyond when there's no uh point, right? It's like you lose the incentive. You might as well be a communist country, and sadly, most communist country, if not all of them, don't work. They're failing.
Lose it one way or the other if they don't. Because look, the thing about you got socialism and capitalism. Socialism on paper makes a lot of sense, but then you got to count on everybody working. Will they all work? But in the short run, what we're seeing right now with this big, beautiful bill that they're talking about, we're talking about cutting all sorts of benefits to give more money to the rich and dig our country into trillions of more long-term debt. And I look at it and I scratch my head. The rich should be taxed bigger and harder. And so the reason I'm more for capitalism is because if you go to a socialistic country like France.
France is not socialist.
France is not?
No. You look at, let's say China. We'll give China for example.
China's not. China's communism. I've been to China.
China's not communist.
Huh?
China's not communist. They're run by the Chinese Communist Party, but they're not.
What are they?
They're a socialist country.
Socialist?
Yes. And you
Listen,
look at their
man,
infrastructure.
hey, man, I've been to
their
China.
wealth inequality, and it's actually pretty good.
Have you ever been to China?
Have I? No. Why
Let me
do I
tell you
think-
something. It is the most oppressed country
No,
I've ever
no.
been to.
Look, no. China's not oppressed. Look at China. They have great social safety nets.
You need to go to China and watch the people with their heads down.
This is a completely different China we're talking about. I'm talking.
I'm not China today.
I'm talking. Yeah. Okay, if we're talking about China today, then no.
Then you have drank the wrong Kool-Aid.
I was like, oh, I'm the only Asian person in the room, so it's like so weird.
It's like, this is the thing where, this is the problem with social media, where yes, information is, you're gaining more information than ever before, but you don't realize maybe you're gaining the wrong information, skewed information. Here's a young man that's never been to China, and he's repping China, right? He's saying, oh, what China really is. By what? What you see online? It's like, this is a thing where places and most people are not looking, oh, let me record poverty. Let me record homelessness. Let me record the worst shit ever so I can put it out. No. People usually record the best part and upload the best part. It's absolutely stupid. This right here hurts so many people's arguments when you show how idiotic you are, how uninformed you are, right? If you don't know something, truly, maybe have some humility and say that, you know what, maybe I don't know it, right? Maybe I'm not fully informed on it, right? This is what I believe, but maybe it's not right.
Weird to see somebody kind of like debate about a country that my mom is from. I would have to agree with John more in terms of like China being a communist country.
John, I'm a parent, and one of the challenges I have is making sure that my mindset is not my children's mindset. How do you overcome that challenge as a billionaire to make sure your children have their own mindsets?
That's hard to do because they live with you and they hear you. The interesting thing about life is you get older, you start listening to your children, you're like, they're stealing all my shit. I said that. I did that. But
That's stupid. Why wouldn't you want your children to have your mindset? Okay? I mean, being a bit of individual, okay, but if you don't, I mean, unless you have a bad mindset, why wouldn't you want to instill your mindset, your morality, your principles, your standards onto your children? That's fucking stupid parenting. In my opinion, that's stupid parenting. Do you not view yourself having a good mindset? If I have a mindset, right, of how I view money, right, and maybe just so happens now I'm a millionaire, why the fuck wouldn't I want to instill that mindset onto my kids? I'm, it comes from a bit of a stupidity point, right? Where, what the hell are you doing? I get it. I mean, yeah, probably you want your kids to be more individual, but there's a point where, what do you want them to do? The opposite of you? If you are successful, right? If you are so successful, yet you want your kids to be so individualistic, so different from you, have a different mindset from you. You want them to have the opposite life to you? I find some parents really idiotic. I really do.
But what I used to tell them is this: when you're watching me, take the good parts and leave the bad parts. And the thing I used to tell my kids is the only thing that I want you to be. I don't care what you are.
I would say this: take the good parts, learn from the bad parts. This is the problem where we're not teaching our kids properly. Okay, we're not instilling our kids to be more wise, more logical, right? I was thinking of this where, you know, we are wanting our kids. We want our kids to, you know, I don't know. Understand sometimes where parents want their kids to, you know, go out there and, you know, make mistakes. Sometimes I think it's not a good thing for kids to make a lot of mistakes, because mistakes can have consequences a lot of times. Consequences are not fair, right? You can't necessarily predict the kind of consequences you could get. So I always say that, you know, learn from everything. From the good parts, from the bad parts, just learn. Comprehend, process it yourself.
Other than this, I want you to be a compassionate human being. I want you to put other people first. And that's the only mindset that I wanted them to take. And I think that they have done that.
One of my goals, I think, is to make my kids better than me. What's your main challenge that you see as a billionaire making your kids better than you?
The main challenge is that your children do not feel entitled. There's nothing worse than an entitled person, somebody who was born with a silver spoon stuck up their butt, and they become the worst person in the world. I never bought my kids nice cars because I knew they were going to be dinged. And you have to make your kids work. You have to have consequences that are consistent. But the main thing you have to do, if I was giving advice as a parent, you got to spend a whole lot of time. It's all about the time. And remember this, your child is one friend away from total disaster. And when you see that friend, you got to separate that friend as hard as it is.
So you just mentioned that when you have a child who is having a friend that you find them to be not good for them, essentially, that you have to do what you can to separate them. As a billionaire, what does that entail for you?
Well, you can only do so much. I mean, I've only separated 2 friends in all the years. And one was a kid who used to come over and, he just reeked of marijuana and he was stoned. And I just had a bad vibe. And I said, look, so-and-so, you can't go over there and he can't come over here. My son Matthew was enraged. You can't tell me who's going to be my friend. I said, I'm telling you, you can't go there and they can't come here. But you can't stop them at school. You can't stop them at a certain point. Later in life, I was justified because that kid that I was worried about ended up in prison.
I'm someone who works with youth in Orlando. I spend every moment of my days to coach and develop the youth in Orlando. And I work with at-risk youth. And one of the biggest things that I have seen in Orlando is that since medical marijuana was passed as a bill in Florida, marijuana use has become normalized among the youth and those that are underaged. One of the things that you mentioned earlier is that you didn't allow your son to be friends with someone who smoked pot because he smelled loud and he smoked weed. So why would you advocate for a bill like that to be passed when you kicked someone out of your family's circle who was smoking weed themselves?
When my brother was paralyzed,
I would say this, right? We do the bill. I mean, people do bills for grown adults, right? The bills, the laws are usually, most of the time, are meant for grown adults. Now, when it comes to children, this is where parenting comes up. The importance of parenting, right? You have to parent your children. That's the importance. You can't say, oh, let me stop this because I'm thinking about the children. No, it's the parents' job to be thinking about the children. Okay? It's the government's job to be thinking about the people. So I'm all for legalizing drugs. It is what it is, right? Let stupid adults do stupid adult things. When it comes to children, well, that's where you have to parent. That's where you have to step in and actually be a parent.
they had him on Percocet, Xanax, and everything else. The only thing that gave him relief, immediate relief, was marijuana. Listen, I believe that marijuana use at an early age fries the mind. I drug tested my children a lot, and my son Matthew failed that drug test a lot. But here's the difference. Would I rather have my brother taking marijuana gummy or opioids, fentanyl? It's a no-brainer. So I don't think marijuana use is on the rise. Let me tell you something. If you want marijuana today, go to any middle school in America.
Yep.
And we'll have a nickel bag real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel that there's an ethical gray area when it comes to use of marijuana or other drugs in the youth or in adults in our country? And do you think that that leads to potentially a ethical gray area for you as a billionaire as it relates to other things in your life?
Medical marijuana, no way. Because listen, where I think the unethical conduct is coming from is from the pharmaceutical industry. Marijuana is a plant that was put into earth by God or by nature, and it works. I don't know how it works. I don't know how aloe works, but when you rub aloe on sunscreen, it goes away. So I feel very good, morally, ethically, every single way about what I did with medical marijuana. And here's the proof in the pudding. 1 million people in Florida have a card, and guess who uses it mostly? People 65 and older. Go to the marijuana stores, look at the marijuana stores, look who's going in. It ain't kids, it's me.
Yeah, so I'm still really confused about the marijuana thing. I feel like with a lot of billionaires, they do want to care for people, but they really don't want them around them. So that's what I feel that you feel with the marijuana. You're fine with people growing it. You're fine with people doing whatever. But right when it's in your house, you don't really care about the person. You want them not around you or your family.
I'd take a gummy every night. It's in my house what are you talking about?
Then why did you kick the person out of your house?
He was a kid who I thought was, not just that he reeked of marijuana, he was a kid who I thought was bad news. I didn't think that he was smoking marijuana. I thought he was selling marijuana. Look, I think all of Matthew's friends smoke marijuana. And so that wasn't the issue. The issue was this guy might be a criminal. This guy is a bad influence.
This this is sometimes people are stupid. This is why I swear, the problem with a lot of people, right, is stupidity. It's mindset. Like like we can't understand. Like people can be bad, right? Bad mindset, bad behaviors, right? Why would you want that around your child? It's absolutely idiotic.
So don't take it the wrong way.
Okay, so you kind of briefly talked on like for-profit CEOs and things like that. I was just kind of hoping to hear your take on the current state of healthcare and what recently occurred with their CEO.
Before I answer that question, I want to go back to the coach's question about marijuana, just so everybody understands where I stand. If John Morgan was king, I'd legalize marijuana all over the country, and I'd let you grow it at your house. So that's how I feel about marijuana. As far as the healthcare, think about this for a minute. There's only one place that we go ever, and we never ask what it costs. When you go to get your hair cut, what's it cost? When you go to buy a candy bar, what's it cost? When you walk into a hospital, none of us ever ask what it's going to cost. You can get a Tylenol pill over here for $20. It could be $1 at the other hospital. The of the insurance industry by healthcare is awful. It's off the charts.
I do agree. I think one of the worst things about our healthcare system is the lack of transparency. Lack of transparency. I think that's absolutely disgusting. I think I hated that we don't have any government officials that actually trying to change that. Like there should be no transparent. There should be no lack of transparency in health. You should know what you're paying for already before you even do it. Right? It should already be automatic. Not like, oh, after you finished everything, now you sign the papers or whatever. Now you have to because you already did it, right? You couldn't go shop around.
Our pharmaceuticals in this country,
And that is why, right? There's no competition. One of the beauties, right? One of the benefits of capitalism is competition. That is one of the key things to why capitalism has been a benefit to people. It's competition. You can compete, right? You can compete with other businesses or whatever.
are way more money than pharmaceuticals in his favorite country, China. And so you've got the healthcare where we don't ask what things cost, and then you got insurance companies who are fighting healthcare, and they're trying to gouge. The hospitals are trying to gouge. The insurance companies are trying to not be gouged. They're fighting, and guess who's stuck in the middle? The person who needs treatment, the person who has cancer, and they're saying, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. And then what happens? People go postal. People snap.
So would you be in favor then of a socialized form of healthcare in the United States?
I don't know how it will work. Listen,
Every other major country has a socialized form of healthcare.
when Obama was president, he came to my house as president. I supported Obama. I'm on the National Finance Committee for Obama. And one of the things that I really liked about Obama was Obamacare. A lot of people lost their House seats for voting for Obamacare. So listen, I'm all ears about anything we can do to get more medicine and more treatment to people. My brother-in-law is a physician up in Haines City, Florida. I have a clinic called the Morgan & Morgan Clinic where he runs it, I fund it, and we take care of everybody who has lost in the system who can't get care.
How do you deal with profiting over other people's injuries in your law firm?
Every business is in business to make a profit. If you don't have a profit, you don't have a business. On the other side of me and on the other side of my clients are insurance companies. Insurance companies do this. They take in premiums and they try not to pay claims. When they try not to pay claims fairly, that's when I'm hired. When I'm hired, the people who are hiring me cannot afford a lawyer by the hour. And the insurance industry, they live in this world. Deny, delay, defend. Their job is to never be fair with you. The people who come to me at their time of need are people who've had something taken from them. The business I'm in is being the key to the courthouse for people who can't afford it, taking all of the risk. And believe me, I've lost some cases where I've written off millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, the only thing between me and them getting a fair shake from the insurance industry is what we do, which is take them to trial. So I never even realized it could be this lucrative until I got in it. But I've also scaled it in such a way that most personal injury firms are like, one-trick ponies in one city. I built mine throughout the entire United States, and by having the scale that I have, my profit got a lot bigger.
You have mentioned before that you make money off of people's injuries and stuff like that. Do you think it's ethical to, I don't want to say take advantage of people, but take advantage of people when they're most vulnerable?
I think what I do is highly ethical. I think that the insurance industry is very unethical. I believe that I'm the difference between people getting back what was taken from them and relying on the insurance company. I believe that what I do is almost, not quite, like a ministry, because people come to me in their most desperate hour, whether they've lost their home, lost a life, lost a limb, lost livelihood, and they have no way to fight back. So I can tell you this, I sleep very well with what I do and why I do it, because I am the civil police representing the people who cannot have a voice for themselves. I got into this business because my brother Tim was paralyzed, so I got to see what it's like to be on the other side. I got to see what it's like to be the poor person that's being oppressed. And I'll tell you what, it is the worst feeling in the whole world to be hopeless, powerless, helpless. And when you get to step in and even the playing field and say, hey, that ain't gonna happen. And when they try to give you peanuts, we're like, we're not taking peanuts. When I walk into my lobbies throughout America, when I see those clients sitting there, I see my brother, I see my family, and I want to treat them exactly the way I would have wanted to be treated.
Do you believe most billionaires and lawyers are compassionate?
I think it all depends on the person. I believe what's helped me in my life was I came from a very difficult childhood with a lot of economic insecurity and alcoholism. Everything bad that you could think happened did happen. But the good thing about those things, if you take it the right way, is those things can generate later in life serious compassion on your part. Whenever I would see somebody homeless, I used to tell my children, just remember this, they don't want to be there. And once upon a time, that was a little girl and little boy eating an ice cream cone, swinging, having the time of their life. And they don't want to be there. And don't judge them because we don't know how they got there.
John, how do you care for your clients when you're done with them? I know your motto is for the people, but it seems like it's only for the client. Up until a certain point, the award is won, the case is closed. How do you take care of your people after you're done with them?
Here's how I take care of
What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, this is a thing with a lot of people where I find it stupid, right? I get it. We want a world where everyone is nice, compassionate, and just, I don't know, insanely, I don't know, just catering to people. I guess I get it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm cynical, right? Maybe I'm being cynical and jaded. But we come into times where, what do you want people to do? What, like, they won the case. They, they're good. If it comes out great, they're good, right? The clients, the people, they're good. Now, what do you want? You want them to invite them over to dinner, have them at Christmas parties. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know. Sometimes I just feel that people on the left are insanely naive and trying to be too altruistic, and it really doesn't make sense in a sense, right?
people. I changed conduct. I just got a big verdict against Takata airbags down in Miami a few weeks ago. I can promise you this, because of my cases, Takata is changing their conduct. I'm one of the lawyers on the opioid cases. These pharmaceutical companies were killing us. That's not happening anymore. I have cases against the tobacco industry. The tobacco industry is in the business of premeditated murder. These are evil, evil, evil companies. And so for the people, not my clients and people, the people who I'll never represent, the people who will never know me, I'm changing conduct.
My question to you, throughout law school, I heard a lot that lawyers are the reason why insurance costs so much and is expensive. So what is your take on that?
Well, you heard that from the insurance industry. There's been tort reform after tort reform all across America. And you know why they have this, what's called tort reform, to take away your rights, my rights, their rights. They say, we're going to take certain rights away from you and your rates are going to go down. But here's what's never happened. They've never tied one of those bills to a mandatory decrease of insurance premiums. These insurance companies take premiums in, they make bad investments, and then they say, oh.
I do hate, one of the things I do hate insurance companies. I really do. I mean, I admit that they're predatory in the sense that you are with an insurance company. You pay every month for for that chance, for the unlikely the unluck for the unlucky scenario where you get into an accident, right? But if you don't have a certain level of insurance, they don't pay it, or you may not benefit, or you don't have a good outcome. But yet you would think that, what the hell is all that money I spent already for then? When, okay, because I didn't have this high level of insurance coverage, you can't do nothing for me. So that means all the money I spent, I still spent it. I get nothing from it. I just, I just, one of the things that another thing I wish just changes the insurance, right? It's disgusting.
Oh, the lawyers are causing us to make bad investments. No, the lawyers aren't the problem. The insurance companies who run their companies poorly are the problem, and they just want bigger profits. And by the way, when you go home, Google their profits. Google what their CEOs are making. They're not hurting. They're making a lot of money.
If you lost all your wealth tomorrow, what would be your next step in this struggling economy? Do you think you could pull it off? Do you think you could be just as successful?
I think if I did this again, I would not be this successful. This has been a series of left turns and right turns, and all of a sudden you end up here. I'm not arrogant enough. I believe that 99% of what's happened to me is luck or blessings or whatever you want to call it.
I'm a pastor, and one of the core tenets of many faith systems in the world is a rejection of possessions and wealth. Do you feel like you had to sacrifice part of yourself or your faith or your family to be able to get where you are today?
Not at all, because my faith has been at the forefront of everything I've done. It's the teachings from my faith guide me not only in my life, but in my business life. And those lessons are fairly clear to me. Do I think I need to take a vow of poverty? I don't think so. If I'd done that, I would have been a Catholic priest. So no, I have never found a conflict in making money in my faith. I think the conflict would be if I made money and didn't use my money for what I've been taught to use my money for. What my goal is I don't live anywhere near what I make, except my jet, and that is excess. But I don't live that way, and my goal now is that I think my children are set. I do not want to leave the government one penny. I think that, if you want to see your money wasted, give it to Congress. And what I want to do is I want to do as much as I can while I'm alive and leave a huge amount of money into a foundation, and that will say at that foundation, faith without works is dead.
I personally work at my family's cafe, and I was wondering, how much do you normally tip customer service workers that are in serving positions?
$100. And I'll tell you why. We're a member of 3 different churches, and my wife gives away, I don't even know what she gives to these churches. But I am much more interested in leaving $100 tips for my servers and for the people who cut my hair than throwing $100 in the collection plate, because $100 to somebody can change their day. I got a case one time where a little boy was killed by a bus in Jacksonville. My investigator called me and said, I just think I'd tell you how we got this case. I said, how? He said, the woman met you once. I said, when did she meet me? 5 years ago. Where? It was Christmas Eve at Bob Evans, and I went there for breakfast with my daughter, and she told my investigator, and he left me a $100 tip. That's why she called me. So I don't know where your cafe is, but let me know and I'll come in and
Amazing.
leave you a $100 tip.
I'll definitely let you know. That's an amazing tip. Thank you, John.
Do you believe it's justifiable to be worth $1 billion while millions live in poverty?
No. If I could undo it all and let us all be the same, that's what I would do.
Okay, and do you believe, because I heard
Yes. This is let me say this, right? I think this is stupid, okay? I don't think that the world, no one is made truly equal, right? I mean, in the eyes of not even that, right? Not even the eyes of law or whatever, right? No one is truly equal, right? No one is truly equal. There's, black athletes are genetically gifted. There are, Asian people that, probably smart. It's, you can't, I don't think it is foolish and naive, right? To think that we can live in a world where everyone just has the exact same amount of money, right? Same amount of net worth. No billionaires, right? No millionaires. Everyone just has 100 grand in their bank account and that's it. Right? Everyone has an equal amount. It's honestly absolutely stupid. I really think it's absolutely stupid. I just there's no um logical reasoning for that. There's no it's because this is a thing where there everyone is just really different. So to imply a more standard outlook of life, right? Everyone is equal. You just can't. You just can't. People are stronger. People are weaker. People are more lazy. People are more productive. It's hard to push out equality really to the masses like that. That's why I like capitalism in the sense that it supports where you know what? Yes, a lot of it is luck. I think a lot of it is also smart, determination, mindset. I mean, the push you make. I mean, here's my thing, right? This is probably about to be over a bit in a bit, where I for a while, okay, I've not cared about money, right? For a little while, I didn't care about money. I just like, I hated the rich too. I was like, oh, I mean, I barely did anything, right? Not a special job or anything. Didn't really have money, and I'd complain about the rich. I had these same kind of ideologies about the rich. The rich is evil. They should be taxed. All this stuff. I hate capitalism, shit like that. Capitalism is the worst thing in the world. And then that was a time where living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes having negatives in my bank account, maybe at best a zero. So yeah, I was struggling, and I had to wake up. I had to like, what the hell am I doing? Right, this mindset I'm having is not productive. It's only continuing my victimhood, which is why right now the me now I hate victims. Right, not in the the abusive. I hate being a victim. I hate victimhood. I rather fight against it. Push out. Do not let yourself be a victim. Okay, fight against it. So my mindset was like I had to change. I had to change. I had to just you know sacrifice. Right. I believe in what I had to sacrifice my present so my future can be better. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people don't try their best to make that happen. So for that time when I was like living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes negative, I had to change. I figured how, right? How would I change? So I learned, right? Learn to save, learn to budget, um, and learn to sacrifice, not buy useless shit. For the longest time, I was thinking about, okay, how do I change? How do I change things up? So, how do these wealthy people get rich? Well, of course, one of it is property, but that comes with capital, which I didn't have. Right when you're living paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes your account is zero, you ain't gonna get much capital, even if you budget and save. So, alternative, what I did was invest into stocks. 6 years ago was the moment in time where I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. How do I change things? Mindset. I became disciplined. Sacrifice. Stop buying useless shit. Stop spending on a whole lot of crap that it just hangs on my wall or just for display. I stopped that. I haven't bought things in a long ass time. I invest. I saved. I budget. All I did was pay bills and invest the rest. That's it, right? Pay bills, maybe some for other important things, and the rest went into investing. That's it. So for 6 years, and I made my earnings is like maybe 40, right? 40K a year. Nothing. It is nothing. It's the average earning for men is about 50. I made below that, right? So it's like nothing. But thanks to that mindset, thanks to changing my mindset, thanks to not living in my victimhood, not blaming the world, not blaming millionaires, billionaires, not blaming the government, not blaming the white man, all that shit. I fucking changed my mindset. And in 6 years' time, not a short time, right? It's not a short time. I have now hit six-figure status. So, in that same mindset, okay, I still believe that I'm on the path to, in 5 years, I want to hit 7-figure status. So, that's the thing where we don't understand that, why I have my point of view of this with some of these people is that, honestly, they live in victimhood. They live in weakness mindset, okay? All they want is blame the world, not themselves. I believe in accountability. I believe not being a victim. I believe pushing yourself. I believe sacrificing.
Heard something about how you don't agree with the government spending, which I actually do agree with. So how would you split up the money?
The most to the most with the least. I believe that there are people that are, and I don't believe it, I know it. When you go out to the Morgan Hunger Relief Center, the people that are walking in there are not the homeless. They're walking in there dressed in work clothes with their children to get free food. And it's an abomination.
Yeah, because I go to the University of Florida because I remember you mentioning it. And one thing I've noticed as a college student is that there is a lot of corruption throughout it, from the president, even from student government funneling millions. And then when I look into to see what happened to them, nothing really happened. They didn't go to jail or anything.
Look, the University of Florida, they hired this president who was just a buddy of the governor's, and he came up there and raped the University of Florida and took so much money, and he's still on the payroll, Ben Sass.
Yeah, that's what a lot of college students are talking about.
It's an outrage. And by the way, when you Google those articles, the alligator, I'm all over those all over those articles, ripping him a new.
So you just mentioned that everyone's a politician now, but you also said that you also have done at least 2 different things with legislation. So would you consider yourself to also be a politician?
Sorta. Everybody wants me to run for governor of Florida right now. When I'd go to the White House, they'd take me over to the side and show me polling on me. And there's a side of me that thinks I could be good at it, but then there's a side of me that really enjoys living in Maui half the year. So I became sort of a politician because, listen, they were fighting me hard on the minimum wage. They were fighting me hard on medical marijuana. And I was out debating sheriffs, and everybody I was debating had a green suit on and a gun. So it's like, a little hard to debate them. So I was sort of a politician because I was in the political realm. And that's why all this talk about people wanting me to run for governor is percolating.
So today, I think we've all sat here and we've heard you talk about your jet in Maui and your 3 homes and the money that sits in your account that you don't care to touch. I think we all have experienced at some point in time that moment that you talked about as a kid, sitting there hoping and praying that somebody would help you. So I guess my question that you didn't really answer, you just told me how much.
Why don't you fucking help yourself? That's the thing was, stop looking for handouts. Help yourself. This is the problem, right? Everyone, I get it, right? I get it. I understand. Who doesn't want the easy way out? I'm always hoping for that, to win the lottery. I'm always hoping for it. I get it. But at the end of the day, stop that bullshit. Because this mindset, well, I need someone to help me. I need someone to help me out. I need to, I need someone to give me $1 million. It's like, what the, literally, you are weak. You are useless. You are what's not needed in society because you have no drive. And this is the problem with so many young men, with so many men. You have no drive. You have no perseverance. You have no strength. This is the stupidity I find in a lot of men right now. It's like you want charity. Charity does not build strong men. You are a fucking weak man. Why not, instead of asking for help, instead of asking for handouts, right? Push yourself to be better, where you don't need someone's handout. You don't need someone's money to to do better, to succeed. No, you're doing it yourself. In the last 6 years, right? Every dime I had, I put in investing. I've lost money. But thanks to the perseverance, thanks to, not give it. So many people have said, sell it all. Just stop doing it. Don't do it. It's scary. It's like all this shit. It's going to crash or you're going to lose money. It's like, there was a time, right? What is it? Before COVID. Was it before COVID? Before COVID, right? My account, I was like, it just hit 100 grand. I was like, I've never seen 100 grand in my life in anything, right? Physically or even digitally, okay? In my own account, right? In my own life. I've never seen 100 grand. It hit 100 grand right before COVID. And I was like, I'm good. I'm balling out. Things are going well. At COVID, right? When COVID was like at its peak, that 100 grand went to 30. Imagine that. You see 100 grand, right? In your bank. You have 100 grand. That 100 grand, that number shrinks, goes down to 30. Right? That was a hard pill to swallow during that time. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's like, wow, this is the first time, right? The first time I'm really experiencing like, I wasn't there during like the 2008 crash or anything. This was my crash. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It was like, I could be like a lot of people and just fuck it, sell it all and just take out my 30. But I had a different mindset. I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go balls to the wall. Go big or go home. I was like, okay, fine. Continue to work, right? Hard work. I continue to go to work every day, every pay. Put it in there. Buy some more. Put more money in. Continuously. I did that. How long was COVID? 2 years about? Continue to do it. I continue to do it. Even those the any relief checks, I put it in as well. Put it in. Boom, went in there. Even though it was down for a long time, I was like, whatever. I believe I'm trusting in this. I'm putting all my faith into this. And now it's reached double before COVID. We don't understand that, a lot of times I think life is luck, sacrifice, it's mindset. I have the mindset where I'm not scared. I've been learning so much. I've been believing it, right? I believe I've been learning stocks will always go up, right? If our economy don't tank, it will always go up, right? It goes up as we are as a nation. If we keep on doing good, if Apple, right, Microsoft, Google, if they keep on doing good, right, every year, every 5 years, every decade, if it keeps on doing good, if it keeps on making money, keeps on these corporations that we hate so much, if they keep doing well, I'm doing well because if I'm investing in them, that's where my money is. That's my money is growing along with these companies that these people hate so much. They're rich and all that shit. This is a mindset change. I don't give a shit if these people are making money. I don't. I hope they make money. Why? Because here's the mindset. I'm going to make money off of them. Stop letting these people make money off of you and then just complain. These wealthy people, these millionaires, these billionaires. They're terrible. Are you stupid? You are living in a capitalistic world. Think like it. Stop thinking like you're a victim. Think like a capitalist. Right? Unless you can find a little, I don't know, a spot in this world where money doesn't mean nothing. You get shit for free. Go. But since you don't, you need money. Okay? Handouts does not give you that. Handouts, begging people, you get $100 there, $100. So what? You're not making money from it. You're just feeling or fueling your victimhood, your weakness. All right. So if Walmart, if Target is making money, I'm making money off of Target. So I want them to do good. Do good, right? Make your money, but I'm going to make money off of you. This is the mindset, right? That we don't have. It's financial education. I believe financial education is number one that will change a lot of people's world, a lot of people's mindset. Thinking, oh, let's tax the rich even more. That's not going to change our world. That's not. Maybe it will feel it a little bit, but really, when all of us, right, when so many people lack actual financial education, they don't even know how to save. I think the average saving of most people in this world is, most people in the U.S. is like 500 or under. That's the most savings, right, of most people. Most people don't even know how to budget. What is it in the black community? Once they get a paycheck, that money's already cycling right through the economy after 24 hours. There is more problem, right? That, taxing the rich, taking more from the rich does not really help. It's the mindset. When you don't know how to save, you don't know how to budget, you just know how to spend, you getting more money does what? It only makes you spend more. You don't know how to create more, right? You don't know how to save more. All you know how to do is just spend more. The more you get, the more you spend. That is it. What is it? I just recently heard a story, right? T-Pain. That man said at one point in his life, he had $40 million in his bank account. He said he went from 40 million to he had to borrow money from friends so he can buy Burger King for his kids. So what did 40 million do for him? I bet you he wasn't complaining about the billionaires and millionaires, right? And even have 40 million, he had to beg money. Right? He went so low to beg people for money so he could buy his kids food. So giving people money does what? Even T-Pain said he wished he knew about financial education. He said he had rappers in his ears saying, oh, just spend it. Just spend the money because you just always rap and you can always do and get more. This is why I hate victimhood. I hate the weakness of people's mind.
That you have, what stops you from helping every person in this room that's struggling right now, that can't pay a bill, had to miss out on work? How do you help them? What do you do? Because you got to.
If you had to miss out on work, why were you there? It's the mindset. None of you should have missed out on work for this Jubilee fucking video. This is what I'm talking about right here, right? This stupidity, this weakness of mindset. You just want handouts. That is it. You are weak. No sacrifice, no hard work. Why the hell would you miss out on work for sitting on a Jubilee video? Absolute fucking idiots.
Private jet, but I had to take off from work today, and I'm struggling. I got bills.
But why would you take off of work? Absolute stupidity. Why didn't you just stay at work? This is what I'm talking about, right? This is the victimhood. This is the absolute victimhood mindset. You're struggling. You have to pay bills, but your stupid ass thought it was logical to miss work to film a 30-minute video. When what? Are you trying to get into social media? When you only talked for a couple minutes? This is the problem, right? This is the problem when we're trying to promote laziness. We're trying to promote victimhood. We're trying to promote handouts. It's weak men like this that is the problem with our country.
Man, and I'm not begging for money, but I'm saying what stops you from being able to go and help us and change our lives? Because
let me give you 100 while we're here.
thank you.
Don't buy marijuana.
No, I don't smoke.
At
I
the
don't
middle
drink.
school.
No, man.
Nothing stops me. Listen, here's how I look at it. I went to a religious retreat one time under
Another man looking for handouts, accepting handouts.
duress. It was called a crescio. And I thought it was going to be a bunch of bullshit, and it was basically a bunch of bullshit. But at the very end, it all came down to one thing that I took from that meeting. And here's what I took. I can't change the whole world. I would love to be able to. But the phrase that I took from that Cresceo weekend was, bloom where you're planted. What does that mean? That means I can't solve hardly anything. But every once in a while, I'll get a God whisper, somebody asking. Then I think back to that Cresceo, and it's like, bloom where you're planted. And I feel like at this moment, that's what I'm being asked to do. And I can only do so much. I'm trying to manage my money so that at the end of it all, it can have the greatest bang for its buck.
You know, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not sure if there's anything that would have been a perfect answer, just because he's really good at talking to you and he's a likable guy, and he's soft in the eyes, so it's easy for him to get you on his side. So I don't know if there's anything he could have said that would have
I guess that $100 just really did it for him.
completely changed my mind. But I think showing your actions,
Who the fuck needs to change your mind? You know, this is the problem where I have a friend of mine. I've tried really hard with this guy. I've tried really hard with this guy. He's a guy that makes $70K a year, right? He has an okay job, manager. He makes $70K a year. And right now, this man has like $1,000 in his bank account, and he's kind of living paycheck to paycheck sometimes, right? He's kind of struggling sometimes. And I try my best to, like, bro, I'm on my journey to being better, right? I'm have a 6-figure net worth now. Okay. I'm trying to create a YouTube channel that, at least can help me out, right? I'm trying to create, a YouTube empire or, whatever. So I'm on my journey. Join me. Come on. I help you out with investing, with saving, with like how to invest, all this shit, and we can join on this path. We could do this journey together. He just doesn't want to do it, right? He wants his free time to have fun. Cool, right? We're all adults. Do what you want. But plenty of times, extra money would have helped him out, right? Extra money would have helped him out. Developing or being on his journey to become 6-figure net worth would have helped him out. He chooses not to do it. There's nothing, of course, you could fucking say to someone else. It's about your own accountability. It's what you will do. I've said this before. We should never want to change others. We should never want to change others, because at the end of the day, you can't. That person should want to change themselves. I wanted to change myself, right? I wanted to change myself. There was a point where I was living paycheck to paycheck. My bank account was either negative or zero. It's like I knew about investing well before that. I just didn't want to do it. It's like, that thing is a scam. I don't have enough money for it. It's like, I don't believe in it. All that shit. But it's like, you know what? I want to change. I'm tired of this. I want different. So I had to change myself. I had to put in the work. No one can change you. No one should try to change you. You should be doing it yourself. You shouldn't be asking for handouts. You should be smarter yourself. This fucking idiot, okay, is going on a show when he could be fucking working, saving, investing, budgeting. But no, he got off of work so he could film a Jubilee video.
me $100, but there were people in the room had told their stories throughout the day. And with a wad of cash in your hand, you could shut me up, but he could have given it to everybody. He could have shown in that moment that he has the power to change your life, and he could try to change your
You think that $100 would change your life? You are fucking stupid.
life. Even if it's a small amount, it's better than nothing. And he didn't really do that.
One of the takeaways I took is there was a quiet desperation, a little bit of a worry about the future, and a little resentment about people who have money.
I think billionaires are inherently parasitical to society as a whole. No matter how they accumulated that wealth, they're
The mindset, right, to get wealthy is a very powerful mindset. Pushes you to get wealthy. how because this is a thing where we think that. Do you think that YouTube would be here without the care of wealth? No. Do you think TikTok would? Do you think Apple would? Do you think Microsoft would? Do you think any fucking company, right, without the desire for wealth would even become in existence? Would you? Would you not think this would be just another North Korea where nothing is there, right? You farm, you distribute. There's nothing. I find people really stupid when it comes to capitalism, and I think people are idiots, right? I really do. But what do you guys think? I thought this was an okay video, right? Yeah. What do you guys think?